Good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. I'm here to record this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. I will tell you who's coming up on that show for this weekend shortly, but in the meantime, let me welcome you to this edition of Behind the Mic. I call it Behind the Mic because that's what I am. I'm Mike Avery behind the mic, but there's actually plural. Hey, good morning, Carl. How are you? People say, why do you have two microphones in front of you? Johnny Bowler. Hey, Johnny, good morning, buddy. How are you? Thank you for your generosity at the fundraiser a couple of weeks ago. Hope to see you come down here for our big Trinity Monitor event coming up soon. Craig, good morning, buddy. How are you? Tim, always a pleasure. Tammy checking in from Howard City on the west side of the state. Corey, I am feeling great. Corey from mid-Michigan. Pretty much in my backyard. Carl says he's waiting on ice. Waiting on ice. Good morning, Jerry. How are you? Appreciate you being along with us. I have two microphones in here. One of them is my social media mic, this one right here, and the other one is my official broadcast microphone, which I'm not using right now, but I will in just a few minutes. Mark, checking in from Garber and Linwood. You getting a new vehicle, Mark, or are you getting some service done? Mark, appreciate your generosity. Mark is giving away a walleye fishing trip on the Detroit River this spring for our Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner as well. Good morning, Captain Todd. How are you? Stephen checking in from Waterford. Good morning, Joel. John from the middle of the mitten. Jason checking in from the Fort Dearborn Truck Plant. Tickets for our Trinity Monitor dinner go on sale Monday. Lance Valentine, the only guy in the world who would call me Mikey. Lance will be on the show this week. Ron checking in from Virginia, going to be a mess all day back in Michigan. We'll see. I mean, parts of the state are going to be for sure. Who'd I miss right there? Good morning. How are you? Johnny says, you know I'll be there. A little slippery in the city, so some parts of the state are starting to see snow now. David, how are you? Service. Looking forward to that trip. Hey, Captain Mark, I just bought I'm actually leasing it. Chevy from Garber Chevy. I happened to get this one from the Garber Midland folks. A ZR2. Man, it's a sweet rig. I took it down to Sign Image in Saginaw, got the graphics done. I took it over to Suspension Max in Bay City, got the front end lifted up a little bit. And then yesterday I went to see Mike Hampton at Mike's Tire Sales, and he put on a set of 35-inch tires. So that thing is looking sweet. Sweet. Doing good, Corey. John says snow is coming down in Mount Pleasant. Michael says, Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. Hey, Tony, I look forward to seeing you Saturday, buddy. Snowing in Grand Rapids. The event Tony's talking about Saturday, I'll be speaking at Calvary Baptist Church in Midland. It's part of their wild game dinner. Had a wonderful event last Friday in Bay City at Riverside Church. It was great. Ron says he's got tons of turkey pics on trail camera this morning. I'm looking forward to turkey season. Good morning, Joe. Might get some ice fishing in yet. No, I'm shocked, Corey, because that ZR2 has pretty good clearance, and we put that additional 1-inch lift in the front, so it actually makes it a 3-inch lift over standard. No, we got them in there, and they don't rub. Even at full lock, they don't rub, so I'm pretty happy. Johnny says no snow in the UP. Josh Mapes, good morning, Josh. How are you, buddy? Josh, I just finally realized what you're doing there on Instagram when you're marking off those days on the calendar. Good for you. Stephen heading to the lake house this weekend in Alpena to ice fish. Sal says only 1 inch of snow so far along the Clinton River. Corey said, what'd Corey say? I had to do some trimming on his F-150 with a 6-inch lift for 35s. Interesting. Oh, this is funny. Mark says, hi, Lancy. Hi, Lancy. I'm going to start calling you Lancy. And ladies and gentlemen, coming up on this week's Outdoor Magazine show, Lancy Valentine. Oh, that's pretty good. Tim says, I'll take these mild winters while they last. Some year winter will return. Not if you listen to the folks who talk about global warming. Thank you, Chip. I appreciate that. No, my pleasure, Josh. Jeff also checking in from the Dearborn Truck Plant. Nice. My name is Mike Avery. This is Behind the Mic. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio to record this week's show. Let me just tell you who's on the show real quick before I get onto some other topics. We're going to start out with Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters. Bill is giving away a 5-day bow hunt in Ohio for our Trinity Monitor dinner. You can bid on that. Charlie, you got to try this. You got to try this. You can bid on this. Oh, all right. I'll just show what we're talking about. My brother-in-law, Uncle Johnny Craves, made this banana blueberry bread. And I thought, I got to get it out of the house or I'm going to eat the rest of it. So I brought it in here to the guys. And so far, the reviews are stupid good. Yeah, stupid good, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. Ruben, how are things in Colorado? Good morning, Jim. Why the 1-inch lift in the front and not the back? Randy, because all trucks these days come riding with the front end down. That ZR2 comes with a 2-inch lift from the factory. So the front and the back have both been lifted 2 inches, but still we had to raise the front end another inch to get it to ride level with the back. Robert, good morning. How are you? Leroy checking in from Gladwin. John from Jamaica. Wow, John. I bet you have fun. Bet you're enjoying the weather. Joel says getting snow in Shiawassee County. Mike checking in from Essexville. Erica from the Thumb. A leveling kit. Yep. Corey says, come with a rake. I don't know what that means, Corey. Help me out. Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats, michiganbrand.net, michiganbrand.net. Nick, a hardcore outdoorsman, loves to hunt, loves to fish. Great guy. Grillo family, great people. Michigan. Oh, Nick, did I send you the email I got from the program director at WPHM in Port Huron? He walked into a store there and he found Michigan Brand Meats and he found my Mike Avery Hunter Sticks. If I didn't send that to you, I meant to do that. Good morning, Sam. How are things at Jay's? Hey, Andrew, how are you? Andrew, a hardcore angler, primarily a river rat. Aren't you pretty much a river rat? And that's a term of endearment. Good morning, Jordan. How are you? Brandon says Lake St. Clair, extremely hot, still trolling for walleye and muskie. 15 to 8 feet of water has been a ticket for both fish. Jen's Ranger is terrible, 3 inches high in the back. They do. They and I used to think they rode like this for aerodynamics and for gas mileage. I believe now that actually the reason they ride like this is they want to be able, if you put a load in the back, it'll level it out. Honestly, though, how many trucks, the average truck, what percentage of the time is there enough load in the back of it to compress the springs? What, 5% or less? John says we're going to have winter for some time yet. Rather have snow and ice now than in April. True. Where's the hat? Yeah. 8 inches of snow in Missouri, Larry says, coming your way. Heavy snow. Trucks come with a rake. I got you now. A rake. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate that. A river rat. Yep. Gotcha, Corey. I got you. I finally clicked with me. Kevin says, have some ice on Lake Ogama. Port Huron, got it. Okay, excellent. Leased truck graphics are great. Does it come off? Yes, it does. I just take a hairdryer. I take my wife's hairdryer because obviously I don't need one. I take my wife's hairdryer in the garage. I light up a cigar and peel it off. And it's about a 1 cigar job. So good morning, Jeremy. How are you? No one, he loads up the Ranger. Oh, that's Nick says, I see Michigan Brand everywhere, but hardly ever yours. That's probably because they're sold out, Nick. Costco beer run lowers the truck. That's true. Itching for spring gobblers and bear hunting in Ontario with Ron. Oh, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to springtime turkey hunting and snow removal. Yeah, people pushing snow are hurting for business. That's for sure. And yeah, I'm looking forward to going back to Ontario to hunt with Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters. Back to who's on the show. Where did I get my graphics? I got my graphics at Sign Image in Saginaw. Can you use one of your DNR connections to see how many bobcat were killed and registered in the new area? I will check. Although part of the topic of the show this week is the fact that I had a hard time getting the DNR and MSP to talk about the topic of kids and guns in a positive sense. I said, can you come on the show and tell me if a 16 or 17-year-old kid can drive with an unloaded and encased gun in the trunk of their car to a shooting range or to go hunting? And they wouldn't come on the show and talk about it. It's a shame that in today's world, people are so hinky about that topic that they won't even talk about it for educational purposes. All right, I'm going to go back to who's on the show this week. Good morning, Ed. How are you? Craig says a reminder, spring turkey apps end February 1st. Good point, Craig. I should have talked about that in the show this week. Spring turkey. I will. Spring turkey apps. Since I get ZZ, I don't worry about it. App deadline. Thank you, Craig. Thank you also, Craig, for your generosity in donating an African safari for our Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner. Tickets go on sale Monday, January 30th. Yes, they can do it, David. They can. Bill Piles on the show to talk about Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters, his operation, his donation to our Trinity dinner, and also a reminder that we are going back down there in October 16th to the 20th, and we still have a couple of openings. Then Larry Verbowski of Suspension Max, we talk about this concept of trucks coming from the factory, riding nose low, or rake as Corey calls it, and how to change that. Then Jason Garvin from the Michigan Wildlife Council. In hour number 2, Jake Romanak of Fishing 411, but we're not talking fishing initially. Jake had just got back from a wolf hunt in Ontario. I want to talk with him about that. That is something I have done. That is something Nick Grillo has done. It is a riot. We're going to talk to Jake about that. Then Nick Green of MUCC checks in. And at the end of the hour, this week's Ask Avery segment. Can a 16 or 17-year-old kid drive down the road with an unloaded and cased shotgun or long gun in the trunk of their car legally if they're on their way to a shooting range or to go hunting? Because there seems to be some confusion, and I can't get anybody to officially tell me on the record because they're afraid to talk about it these days. And I think that is a shame. Johnny says, when you auction off the bear hunt, you can tell them they will have a better bait than yours. Johnny, we could have put the bait in the middle of US 2, and it would have been better than mine. Scott Keatsman of Linwood Taxidermy. Scott donated a shoulder mount, a whitetail shoulder mount for our Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner. LinwoodTaxidermy.com, LinwoodTaxidermy.com. I leaned on some of my friends to help us out with the Trinity dinner, and they all came through, including Captain Paul Schlafly of Riverside Charters in Manistee, giving us a springtime Lake Michigan salmon fishing trip for 4. And in our third hour, it's Lancey Valentine of Teachin' Fishin'. And of course, Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. The red lipstick lady is going to be ripping on guns tonight in her SOS speech. You mean the governorette? The governoress? The woman who shut down the state and then we reelected her? That one? Oh, that lady. You mean with her pleather jackets that she always wears and looks like she needs her hair combed? That one? I'm not a big fan of hers. Yeah. And one of the ways she wants to address gun control is she wants to have some kind of a mandatory storage in your house, which is, I mean, every gun owner stores their guns responsibly, right? At one age, can a kid hunt alone with a gun? 18, Nick, 18. Well, Alone, yes, alone. If they're under 18, how much time, Pat? 7 minutes. Okay. If okay, if they're under 18, they have to be hunting with an adult, but they can hunt by themselves at age 18. And I will bet you most of the people on here right now hunted by themselves before they were 18, because I know, I know, I sure did. Of course, it was a different world back then. Emil says, I want to send you something from the Lumberjack. How can I get it to you? Emil, I will answer you off air, but thank you for that. Ross Elliott, great guy. I don't know if I told this story last week, but I'm going to tell you again. Ross Elliott, who was the coordinator and the guy behind a fundraiser we had for the Pinter family a couple of weeks ago, good friend of mine, can fish with me anytime on Saginaw Bay that he wants for free. And he paid like $1,600 at that fundraiser to fish with me on Saginaw Bay. That's the kind of guy Ross Elliott is. He is a great guy. Tim says, times have changed too much. My dad would tell me, grab a shotgun, go shoot something for dinner. That's the way it should be, Tim. Because he knew you weren't out there causing trouble and you were being responsible. Raber Bay, didn't mean to ignore you. Good morning. How are you? Paul says, a good snowy morning. Where are you, Paul? I know where Bernie is. Good morning, Bernie. Nice to have you along with us. Exactly. Andrew says, yeah, back in the day, we used to have our guns in our trunks at school, then go out hunting after school with friends. Yep. You can't have. See, that's part of the problem with these kids who are on these trap teams, like my grandson Carter. He can drive. Hey, good morning, Captain Jim. How are you? Stockbridge. Okay, thank you, Paul. He can drive to the range by himself with an unloaded and encased gun locked in the trunk, but he can't have it on school property, which, I guess as it should be these days. Corey says he thinks all kids. Send me a text right now, Ross, because you have my attention. Corey, how was this? See, I wanted to go back to. Hey, Jim, are you going to be at our Trinity dinner? I think we talked about this, and I think you said yes. Good to go, Pat. Okay. I'm eagerly awaiting that text, Ross. Where'd we go? All right. So my name is Mike Avery. I'm here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. And it's the Outdoor Magazine radio studio because I got a logo behind me to prove it. Actually, it's Pat Johnston's studio here at WSGW. I just get a chance to borrow it for a few hours every week. Stu says, because we were taught to be responsible or suffer the consequences. Exactly. It really bothered me. And, I have what I consider to be a pretty good relationship with the DNR. And I think, especially their law enforcement people, know that. I'd like to think they know that they can trust me and I'm not going to throw them a curveball and try to make them look like fools on the air, because I'm not. And the fact that this whole kids and guns, even legally and responsibly, is such a hot topic right now, that the DNR at the highest level in Lansing would not allow their people to go on the air and talk about it. They wanted to send it over to MSP, Michigan State Police. Michigan State Police said, we don't want to talk about it either. Now, this is coming out of Lansing. They said, well, maybe you could talk to the Attorney General's office. I said, I have no desire to have the Attorney General on this radio show. No desire. Just like you'll never see the governor on this show. I doubt if she'd want to do it. But if she called me right now and said, Ross, can't you wait a couple days? I see it. Honestly, Ross, can't you wait a couple days? That event will not be the same without you. I protest. I vehemently protest. Darn it. I'm really just, I'm not going to say a word, Ross, but I'm deeply disappointed and maybe even somewhat hurt. Good morning, Dave. How are you? calling. Hey, Curtis. Good morning. How are you? 3 minutes. 2 minutes. How about the head hunter's ed instructor in the state or National Rifle Association? Honest. I'm not real eager to get somebody from NRA on the show either. I don't want to. I don't want to deal with that kind of politics on this show. Hello, Kirk. How are you? Good morning, Jerry. Yeah, good point. Tonight at 7 o'clock, you have two choices. You can watch the governor's State of the State address, or you can watch me on Wednesday Night Live. Which one's it going to be? Good morning, Jake. Uncle Ted doesn't want to be on my show anymore. I haven't, they won't officially say it, but I think I've been blackballed by the Ted Nugent Association because during an election, I chose not to have one of their people on. And that particular person, I think he's a Ted Nugent wannabe. And if I'm going to have somebody on the show like that, it's going to be Ted. It's not going to be one of his wannabes. And it didn't go over very well. And I think I've been blackballed. So Ted, if you're hearing this, that's the way I'm looking at it. If it's different, let me know. Oh, let's see. Right, Emil. I'm not even going to bring that comment up. All right. In about 20 seconds, I've got to switch the focus here. I will not be able to directly interact with you. I'll have to do the radio show, which is a lot of fun too. I'm going to talk about many of the same subjects that we've been discussing here this morning, but I will not be able to directly answer your questions or directly interact with you. So please forgive me. 3, 2, 1, blast off. But that's what I'm listening to. But hey, Joe, where'd you go, Joe? Good morning, Joe. Where'd you go? There you are, Joe. But I would hope, again, you got two choices tonight at 7 o'clock. You can watch the Grinch. You can watch her State of the State address, or you can spend Wednesday night with me at 7 o'clock on Wednesday Night Live. Your choice. Yeah, good morning, Bruce. All right, my friends, I got to go. I'm going to stay here live, but I'm not going to be able to talk to you. Have a good day. See you tonight. Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network. More than 30 stations across the great state of Michigan, 3 hours each week dedicated to hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping and wildlife issues and conservation issues and some wild game cooking. We talk about how much fun it is to be involved in this outdoor lifestyle and what a tradition it is for many of us here in the great state of Michigan. And a lot of people in the state, and many of us, our family tradition goes back to the outdoors. Glad to have you along with us. But before we get started, I got a bone to pick with the Michigan DNR. And I want to start right out with this right now. I am generally a supporter of the DNR. I don't agree with everything that they do, but I think overall they do a good job. And I think most of the people in the DNR are good, hardworking people who want to do the best for the resource, do the best for the people of Michigan who enjoy those resources. But in this particular case, the Michigan DNR let me down, and I am not happy with it. They did not draw my name for the Pure Michigan Hunt. I know it was a mistake because I knew ahead of time that I won. But when I watched their Facebook Live event, they did not draw Mike A. And I'm not happy about it. So Michigan DNR, just know that I'm very disappointed in your lack of drawing Mike A for the Pure Michigan Hunt. But I do wish the winners a lot of luck. And it's actually kind of funny. I put a post on my Facebook page. I said, Michigan DNR, you made a mistake. You didn't draw my name. And they responded the Michigan DNR Facebook page, responded to my post, and they showed a guy going, looking through paperwork like, so we had fun with it. Hey, speaking of DNR, the springtime turkey application period ends, what, the 1st? Now, if you're like me and you apply for ZZ, it doesn't really matter, the extended Southern Michigan private land hunt. But if you're applying for one of the limited hunts, you're going to want to get in on that now. Don't let that system pass, or don't let that deadline pass you by. I am looking forward to spring turkey season. I am looking forward to spring bear hunting. Can't wait. Did get a chance though this last weekend to get my grandson Carter out on the trap range with that new over under 20 gauge that we bought at Jay's Sporting Goods. He was so patient. I mean, he had that thing for a couple of weeks before he had a chance to shoot it. He's like, Grandpa, when can we go? When can we go? Well, last weekend we had a chance. We went out to the local gun club, and him and a buddy of his put 50 rounds through their. They both had brand new guns. It was so cool. They both had brand new guns that they bought for this upcoming springtime high school trap shooting season. They actually both got them at Jay's. So I had two kids, I call them kids, right? They're 16. Had them out there on the range. They got their brand new shotguns. I'm at the controls. I'm the guy throwing the birds. And both of them hit the first bird with the first shell out of their new guns. I thought, hey, we're putting some good mojo into those guns right there. Huh? How cool is that? That was a lot of fun, but it did raise a question in my mind because Carter was talking to me about, getting down to the range and stuff. He says, Grandpa, I can't, I'm 16. I can't drive with a shotgun in my car. And I got thinking about that. And I thought I knew the answer to the question, but I said, I'm going to do a little research. So I'm going to go to the DNR and see if they will talk about that specific subject on the air with me. And they declined. They said, well, we think it should be an MSP, a Michigan State Police conversation. The Michigan State Police declined as well. I think it's a shame that we live in a world where people and agencies and organizations are so afraid to even talk about the concept of kids and guns in a legal, in an ethical manner, in an educational forum. They didn't want the conversation to get off center and to go askew. They didn't want me to put them in a position where I was asking them a question they were uncomfortable to answer. I wasn't going to do that. I don't do that. So I did a little research, and I have the answer to that question about can a 16 or 17-year-old kid legally transport a shotgun or a long gun, unloaded, encased, and locked in their truck. Can they ever legally do it? If so, how? You know how I got the answer? I had to go online and look it up. I went through like 80 pages online. I think it was the 80th page of the Michigan gun laws. I finally found the answer. I'll tell you what that answer is at the end of the second hour in this week's Ask Avery segment. Oh, I had a wonderful lunch this last week with a guy named Jerry Widener. Jerry Widener, brother of John Widener and friend of Jim Barta, are the guys who started the hunter safety system like 18 years ago now. They were the guys who came up with this concept of why are we trying to put on this almost impossible tree stand harness that's always tangled and nobody can figure out how to put them on. They said, we'll sew it into a vest. Then all you have to do is slip the vest over your shoulders. And they changed the way hunters today, especially young hunters, looked at the concept of tree stand safety. Wonderful visit with Jerry. My new truck is done. My Garber Chevy Silverado ZR2. This was a really, really nice truck coming off the lot, but I wanted to do a few things to it. I went to see my friends at Sign Image in Saginaw. They put the graphics on it. It's beautiful, but I'm looking at that truck going, something's still not right. And I knew what it was. That truck came with real aggressive 33-inch tires, but they weren't quite big enough for that truck. And you've seen them, right? You've seen trucks these days. They've got these lifted bodies and these little skinny tires, and they don't look good. The other thing I don't look like about today's trucks is they all drive down the road with the front end lower than the rear end. And again, it doesn't look too good, and you can't put bigger tires on it. So what I did after I got the graphics on, I went over to see Larry Verbowski at Suspension Max in Bay City. Now, that ZR2 comes with a 2-inch factory lift, so it's 2 inches higher than a standard Silverado. I needed them to raise the front end even more to get the bigger tires, so they put a 1-inch lift in the front. So it's got 3 inches in the front. They put new upper control arms on it as well, which then allowed me to go see Mike Hampton at Mike's Tire Sales, and he was able to sneak a set of 35-inch tires underneath that truck. Now she's looking good. The graphics are good. The ride is level. The front end is up, and I got big, beefy 35-inch tires under that thing, and now it looks like a truck. It looks very, very cool. I have pictures of it on my social media outlets. What else is coming up? The Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner, which is a big event, our 6th annual, will be Saturday, March 4th at the Great Hall in Midland. Tickets go on sale for that event Monday the 30th. Monday the 30th. Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner is cooking for the event. I am the host and auctioneer of that event. We have a lot of great prizes. Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters is giving away an Ohio bow hunt. We're auctioning off an African safari. We're auctioning off Saginaw Bay walleye fishing trips. We're auctioning off a dart and crossbow. We're auctioning off Lake Michigan salmon fishing trip with Paul Schlafly, a Detroit River walleye trip with Captain Mark Pananzek, Saginaw Bay trip with Captain Jeff Godey, guns. What else? It's a big event. It's a fun event. Again, that is Saturday, March 4th. Put it on your calendar now. Tickets go on sale Monday, the 30th. Details on my Facebook page, Mike Avery Outdoors Facebook page. My website, MikeAveryOutdoors.com, MikeAveryOutdoors.com. My email address is Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. If you want to reach out to me with a question, a comment, a criticism, doesn't matter. That is the single best way to get in touch with me, unless you know my cell number. If you have my cell number, just give me a call. If you don't have my cell number, email me, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. And I've had a lot of people lately reach out to me with questions for the Ask Avery segment, or if you want to share posts on the page. It used to be you could go to Facebook, you could make a post on my page directly. I could click one button and share it, and it was seamless, and it was easy, and it was clean. Not anymore. So if you want a good quality picture on my Facebook page, unfortunately for you and me, the best way to get them to me, send them to me in an email, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com, Mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Coming up on this week's show after the break, Bill Piles of Ohio Bow Hunting Outfitters, then Larry Verbowski of Suspension Max, and Jason Garvin of the Michigan Wildlife Council. In hour number 2, Jake Romanak of Fishing 411, but we're not talking fishing. We're talking about wolf hunting in Canada. Then Nick Green of MUCC, the Ask Avery segment with the answer to kids and guns. Well, not the overall answer, but in one specific case. And then Lancey Valentine. That's a joke. Lance Valentine of Teaching Fishing. And we wrap it all up with Wild Game Chef Extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. That's this week right here on Outdoor Magazine. That guy right there, Mike Hampton, is the guy who put my tires on. Did a great job. Lure lipstick. Yes, people are finding Shed Jet. Good morning, John. All right, my friends, I got to go. Talk to you later. Have a great day. Don't forget the governor's state of the state tonight at 7 o'clock. Have a great day.